Oh, interesting. Oh, hello. Didn't see you there. You catch me reading, because it's not all about films and TV and unboxings and things here. It's about books too. Today, I'm talking about The Tomorrow People. Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. My name would be Paul Mount. If you're of a certain age, like I am, maybe slightly younger, you might remember The Tomorrow People, the original iteration of The Tomorrow People, one of ITV's answers to Doctor Who, which debuted on ITV when they used to show children's programmes back in the day in 1973. This was a fantastically imaginative series created by Roger Damon Price. It's basically about the next stage of human evolution. It was inspired by a line from the song Oh You Pretty Things by David Bowie. Got to make way for the Homo Superior. The Homo Superior in The Tomorrow People were a bunch of kids whose bodies were evolving into the next stage of human evolution and unleashing hidden abilities that the human body had. The ability to teleport, telekinesis, telepathy, all embodied in this next stage of evolution. A fantastic idea, and a particularly clever idea because it played on those thoughts that kids always have when they're kids about wanting to do things that their parents can't do and wanting to have special powers and special abilities. You know, the whole thing was a sort of an allegory for puberty as well, with the body changing and, you know, different things happening. Can't wait for it to happen to me. It's a long time coming. One day soon, I'm sure. So yeah, The Tomorrow People played very much on that, and across 7 seasons, started off as 13 episodes and then it became sort of 6 and 7, and one particular series was 4 episodes. A really imaginative series that never fulfilled its potential, really, because of budget. It was, although it was ITV's answer to Doctor Who, it didn't even have Doctor Who's budget, and bearing in mind that Doctor Who was famously underfunded in the 70s, Tomorrow People couldn't help looking a bit sort of tacky, even in comparison with Doctor Who. But as with Doctor Who, it's the idea that really worked. I think it's the idea that caught on and made it so popular. This idea of children going off on incredible adventures across space and time, as it turned out, with incredible powers, incredible abilities, with the future of the human race on their shoulders. And it was quite nice that the idea was expanded so that all life forms broke out and had Tomorrow People across the universe. So you had in the background this concept, although we never saw it on TV, really, we saw it a lot in the comics, a thing called the Galactic Trig, which was a bit like the Galactic Federation in Star Trek, trying to keep humanity under one roof. And the Tomorrow People had a similar sort of thing where the Galactic Trig was monitoring evolved creatures in different races across the universe. A really interesting idea, which was never fully followed up in the series because shows didn't do those sorts of things in those days. Anyway, all this rambling is to commemorate the fact that there's a new book about the Tomorrow People out. It's called What the Fans Think. The Tomorrow People. This is the latest in a series of books that have been published by Pencil Tip Publishing, which is based in Vancouver, in Canada, in case you didn't know. Books edited by Richard Peavers and Bob Furnell, and they have looked at a number of classic sci-fi series in the past. I'll put a picture of previous books here. So they've looked at the history of shows, not from a perspective of how they were made and behind the scenes, all this sort of stuff, but as the title says, it's what the fans think. And it's a series of unapologetic and critical fan reviews and assessments of episodes of classic TV series. I am fortunate enough, one of the reasons I'm mentioning it is a bit of shameless self-promotion. I've written for some of these books in the past, and I've written a number of essays for this latest one about the original series of The Tomorrow People, because this is a show I remember quite fondly, even though I'm aware of its creaks watching it again now. And I've watched some of the episodes, and I watched several stories again to review them for this book, and I've got 5, count them, 5 reviews in this book. And what it does, as I've said, let's look at the contents page. This isn't a big lavish picture book. It hasn't got interviews or features or behind the scenes or any gossip. It's basically reviews of each and every story. from the Slaves of Zedekiah in 1973, right up to War of the Empires in 1979, with then an essay about the series, and then a potted history of the new Tomorrow People series, because it has returned twice. Once in 1992 for a 3-series run again on ITV, and then more recently in a fairly disastrous American or Canadian production that came out, I don't know, maybe nearly 10 years ago now, which was Tomorrow People in name only and isn't covered in this book. So this is focusing purely on the original series and the 1990s reboot. And it's really an excellent read. I've been flicking through it because I remember the series very well. And even though I haven't watched all the stories recently, reading these reviews sort of reminds you of the stories and it does make me want to go back and revisit them. I think there may be some of them on BritBox, I'm not entirely sure, but they're all available here on YouTube. Incidentally, you can find them on YouTube. They're available on DVD in a box set, which I think is fairly reasonably priced these days. It's a very nice book. It's, you know, it's completely unpretentious. As I said, the layout is very straightforward. You've got the titles of the stories, the person who wrote the article or the review. No photos. It's not about that. It is the fans talking about these shows that they remember and they loved, and looking at them, as it says, unapologetically and critically. And it's a really good idea for a series of books, and I heartily recommend them. So if you're interested in the Tomorrow People or any of the other books that have been published by Pencil Tip, I'll put a link here where you can go and have a look and find out more about them and hopefully get yourself a copy, because they're really very good, they're very interesting. These aren't the sort of books that you're going to find in bookshops necessarily. I don't know what the distribution model is, that's not my area, but you can get hold of these things, and it's nice to have a history of these shows from the perspective of fans, not journalists, researchers who have a different focus. These are just the fans who watch these programmes and want to talk about them or write about them, and I think it's really nice. The cover, I think, is really nice. It's sort of evocative of the clenched fist title sequence of the Tomorrow People. Yeah, well worth getting and heartily recommended. Not just because I've got some stuff in it. Good Lord, no. That's not a reason to recommend anything. Right, hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please, hope you have. If you have, and only if, well, no, even if you haven't, subscribe, like and subscribe. Press that there button which says subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Have you got the Tomorrow People book? Have you got any memories of the Tomorrow People? Why not share those memories with me down here? That'd be fun. I will see you soon. Like and subscribe, etc. I'll see you soon. Till I do, keep taking the stuff.